I'm Michael Bain, and welcome to Triggered, coming to you as always from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains and Dragon House Studios. And this week, I want to explain a decision I made. Now, most of you know that I'm joining my good friend Robert Parker in South Texas, way South Texas, later in the year, to hunt Nilgai, which is basically the blue antelope, roughly 600 to 1,000 pound antelope, native to India, but has found a home in South Texas, especially down in some of the sandy lands on the coast. So they're huge, they're very, very popular. I'm looking forward to it. Now, originally, I wanted to hunt it with an 1895 Winchester in .405. That's a lever action Winchester. And at the last minute, not the last minute, I still have months, but in talking to people, talking to outfitters, talking to my friend, I decided that I needed to change directions. My 1895 is fitted with a Trijicon, one MOA red dot. Also the .405 with current trajectory, with the ammo that I have, has a rainbow trajectory. Some of the new ammo coming from Buffalo Boar, from Tim Sundless, doesn't, but we don't have any of that. And it looked like the shots may well be somewhere in the 200 to 300 yard window. I love the 1895, I love the .405 cartridge, but as it sits, it's not a 300 yard rifle. What it is a 150 yard rifle, maybe making it out to a 200 yard rifle. And I always think it's important to understand things like that, especially when you're hunting an animal, you're going to take its life, you need to understand things like that. So I made the option to go back to this guy. This is a Ruger guide gun in a 300 Win Mag, one of the great classic calibers, created in 1963. This 300 Win Mag against your regular 308. It is a great cartridge. It's taken a lot of game. But the interesting point that was made to me on the internet is, wow, you know, this isn't really a guide gun in 300 Win Mag. The idea of a guide gun, a gun carried by guide, carried by a professional hunter, when their client is going up against something with big teeth. So if they have to shoot it, they can make sure to hit it hard. And 300 Win Mag would be at the bottom of that chart. In fact, Ruger doesn't make the guide gun in 300 Win Mag anymore, not on a regular basis. But what I wanted to explain was this rifle has been with me in Africa. The great Ed Head, one of truly the greatest firearms trainers in the world at Gunsight, helped me set this rifle up for my first trip to Africa. And then Ed took me out and worked with it over and over and over again. And this rifle absolutely delivered. When we come back, I want to talk to you about the piece of glass that's now on this rifle.
You know the RIA 5.0 packs radically new innovations, but we didn't stop there. Introducing the RIA 5.0E. The E stands for enhanced, as in new optics cuts and plates. The updated barrel is crafted with improved materials and slide geometry. The look and feel is also enhanced. Plus, new lightning cuts show off the updated match-grade barrel. Experience the enhanced RIA 5.0E today.
Welcome back to Triggered, where we're talking about this Ruger guide gun in 300 Win Mag. Went with me on my first trip to Africa, very successful on kudu, on eland, on impala, you name it, this gun worked great with them. At the time, I had this scope on it. This is a Leupold VX6 HD. It is one of the best hunting scopes in the world, 2 to 12, second focal plane, fire dot, fitted, in this case, for this gun, for this Henry, in 6.5 Creedmoor, it has a custom knob on it in 6.5 Creedmoor, so I can dial it up to where I need it to be really easily. However, for this trip, I chose this gun, or this scope. This is a Steiner H6XI. It's also a 2 by 12 by 42 millimeter scope. So it's the same size, and in fact, a tiny bit shorter than the Leupold. It is, however, a first focal plane. Let's talk about what the differences are. With this scope, the Leupold second focal plane, the reticle stays the same. Doesn't matter what power it is. Your dope, your information on drop, only works when you're at your maximum magnification, in this case 12x. First focal plane, the reticle itself changes sizes as you go through the magnification. Now, what that has meant a lot of times is when you are all the way at, say, 2x, the reticle is too small to use. But the way that Steiner has fixed that, or the way that Steiner has addressed that problem, is at 2x, what you have is a standard duplex. And you have an illuminated T in the center of that duplex. I wish it was a little brighter, but it still works really well. And then when I go up in 12, I have a tiny Christmas tree, but I have hash marks for wind, I have marks for holdovers. If I need to go out to a longer distance, the first focal plane gives me a little bit more of an advantage, and that's why I want to go with this scope. Now, I think right here are two of the best hunting scopes in the world. I also will say this, neither are cheap. How many times have we told you a good glass, a good scope may well cost you as much or more as the gun, and that's the case here. 2 to 12, I like it a lot from the research and the work that Stephen Clifford, my friend Steve Clifford, Cliffy, and I have done on the concept of a general purpose rifle. So what I have done is I've treated this Ruger guide gun like a general purpose rifle in a heavy caliber, in 300 Win Mag. That's how I use it. It's not an optimal barrel length for 300 Win Mag to get up to that over 3,000 feet per second, but for a general purpose powerful rifle, this is working really well. 2 to 12 is the perfect magnification for it, and I can't wait to take this Steiner out into the field. When we come back, some new products from Streamlight. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Rossi, The Legend Continues, Stoger, Everyday Tough, Hunter's HD Gold, They Change So You Don't Have to, MTM Case Guard, Quality Shooting Sports Accessories, and Ed Brown, the best money can buy for over 50 years. Our friends at Streamlight have, as always, been pretty busy, and I wanted to show you just a few of their new products that have shown up recently. This first one is the Wedge XT. Now you saw the original Wedge, which was longer, had the switch on the side. This one has a tail switch, 500 lumen, no rough edges, really designed for pocket carry, which I think is a really good idea here. It's rechargeable. A second light, and I like this one a lot. This is part of the ProTac series, and it's 2AAX, and it's also USB rechargeable, and we think we talked about this a little bit at SHOT. Streamlight's opted for the rechargeable battery included with the light. So you can see here how the USB recharging cord plugs in the battery. So in the meantime, you can run this light, once again, I think a 500 lumen light, with a couple of AA batteries, which makes a lot of sense. Yes, it's longer, but I found this to work well as a bedside light. One of the things that bothers me with the USB rechargeables is that sometimes I forget, not often. And finally, the light that you're going to have because it's just cool. This is the Bear Trap 360. It is 2,000 lumens, 1,000 lumen, 500 lumen, depending on the setting. And the cool thing is, you notice it's kind of sitting here all clamped in, is the frame itself is like a Bear Trap clamp. You can clamp it anywhere, and it turns 360 degrees. No wonder they call it the Bear Trap 360. But think about how useful a light is, that it's got batteries on one of its flat surfaces. So on a metal surface, you can just drop it, not batteries, magnets. You know, magnets. But it claps right down. And otherwise, you can clamp it to a surface, clamp it sideways, and let there be light. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. You can find us on michaelbain.tv. We have links to everything here. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on Facebook. Oh, you can find us on X. Maybe we should be on Truth Social too. In any case, remember, these are dangerous times. You guys stay safe We'll see you next week.